Hello, it's Ian and Wendy from McNaughts on Tour. We are parked up at Glenmore campsite in Loch Morlich in the Cairngorms, so we're here for a few days. The weather was absolutely lovely on the drive north, and it's an easy drive. It's straight up the A9, taking the first exit to Aviemore on the B9152, and then as you approach Aviemore, as you get to the roundabout, you're going right towards Coylum Bridge, and it's probably 5 minutes drive or so, and then you arrive at Glenmore campsite. We haven't been at this site before, so it's always nice to see a new place. Check-in was easy and friendly, and there's automated barriers to the site. There was snow on the ground when we arrived, not particularly deep snow, and some nice sunny spells, but there's a lot more snow forecast.
When? Where are you?
We've got a few minutes walk from our pitch through the forest towards Loch Morlich, and there's a sandy beach just at the edge of the forest onto the loch, which actually was really nice and didn't really expect that.
I'm really surprised.
There's lots of walks here, and you can walk all the way around Loch Morlich. There's lots of forest walks and tracks, and in the summer weather there's water sports on the loch as well, at the current time. Clearly a lot of people here for the skiing in the Cairngorms. It's really a short drive from the campsite up to the mountain. We went a leisurely walk along the beach, really just to get our bearings and to explore a little bit. I like seeing the ice floating in the loch like that, and I thought the noise was really nice too. As we walked about, the wind increased and it got quite blustery, and that is the weather forecast. It's to be quite stormy this evening overnight, with some more snow forecast. So we'll see how that works out. There is some signposting around the loch, so Wendy's reading the board again just to get our bearings. So after the storm overnight, with -5°C, and the loch is actually frozen over in quite a lot of places. Quite different actually from yesterday afternoon. So I went a longer walk around part of the loch just to explore. I thought it looked absolutely great. It was really enjoyable, it was lovely and fresh. I do like seeing the ice like this and hearing the noise that it makes. As I walked along the shoreline of the loch, I then followed the river. It was completely different, I guess. Being in the trees, it was much more sheltered. Completely different atmosphere of the loch, very tranquil. And there's lots and lots of forest tracks all around here. So it was quite nice just to follow that around. The water is crystal clear here, so I was searching to see what I could see, but I only came across some ducks. We went a walk out of the campsite up to the visitor centre for some lunch, and then after that we came across the Reindeer centre. It was £5.50 per adult, and there was a sign up saying there were some reindeers brought down from the hill today, so you can view all the exhibition and then you can go outside and get reasonably close to the reindeers. After that we walked further along the track into the pine forest, so there's miles and miles and miles of forest that you could walk. We wanted to go up to the mountain, so we headed out of the campsite. Cairngorms is obviously very popular for skiing and for hiking. We are not skiers, but we thought we'll see if we can get actually up to the mountain and just have a look around. So the roads are completely clear at this point, so we were just heading up. It's maybe a 5 or a 10 minute drive. The incline does start to increase fairly fast and it does become a little bit windy, but it's a really nice drive and it's an easy drive. The roads were well treated with gritting and being ploughed. So we approached the car park. Things, as expected, were really quite busy, and the weather started to change as we actually got up to that elevation, so it got quite misty, and it was a bit windy. Originally we thought we might try and head up to the mountain to the cafe, but I'm not sure if dogs are allowed on the bus, and given the weather it was only the bus that was running. So we decided not to do that. There was obviously people with lots of ski gear and hiking gear. So we found a space and had a look around. So this is the lower car park, but even at this elevation there's some nice views. You could actually see a bit of Loch Morlich there, and just panning around you start to see some of the kind of higher mountains. It was pretty cold, but we were well wrapped up.
Hello.
Right, Wen.
Hello.
Where are we?
Then, I don't actually know. Cairngorm Mountain.
There's a mountain rescue truck. quite liked it up here. We're not skiers, but clearly there's a lot of people up here for the skiing. Lots of camper vans, and there's just kind of skiing kit everywhere really. And then in addition to that, there's a lot of more serious hikers. So you've got skiers and you've got hikers heading off from this location. So we walked across the car park, intended to climb or walk up a little bit of the hill. Even at this elevation, it was really icy. So at the side of the car park here, it was solid ice here. We've got walking boots on, and we're well wrapped up, so we just were careful as we went. It's to be expected at this time of year, at this elevation, but the views are nice and kind of look quite wild. So we had a look about at that point, and then we headed further along this wee road and then actually up onto the hill. I walked up a little bit more of a hill with Lola, whilst Wendy stayed down at the bottom. Even with decent walking boots on here, it was really slippy with quite compacted ice in lots of places, so without crampons it wasn't really viable to go any higher. So we had a look around there, took some more videos and photos, and then headed back down towards where Wendy is. The what? It could be. You need to know what you're doing here. Even just coming down there, because it's so hard packed. Wait a minute, when you get lower in here, don't just sit in there. That'd be good disappearing. Hey, careful. Hello that way. Right. There's a plaque in the car park that the Royal Engineers and other army units built the road in 1968. So we drove back down the mountain, and then we decided to drive along the edge of Loch Morlich into Aviemore. So we thought we'd just go into Aviemore for a wee look around and maybe get some lunch. I'm back in the loch, and I've walked all the way around to where the river joins the loch, and I'm walking along the water bank and started to see these trees and branches that had all been gnawed. So there's actually beavers being reintroduced to Loch Morlich in the surrounding area. So this is the work of beavers actually gnawing away at the branches, and presumably they will take the branches away for building dams or whatever else they're doing. But really, really interesting. Unfortunately, I didn't see any beavers. We've had more snow and quite a cold temperature overnight, so I'm heading back down to the loch just to see what it's like, and it was absolutely beautiful. Very flat, really nice reflections, very tranquil, really nice. That's our time up at Glenmore. It's been really, really lovely, and I definitely will be coming back here. This is our first visit, but we'll come back and visit some more. I think it would be really nice in the summer as well, with the beach and all the water sports. So, time to pack up and head home back to the Glasgow area. So the weather was absolutely glorious after we've packed up and getting ready to head off. And we had a fair bit more snow overnight. We thought we'll just take it easy on the way back. Not entirely sure what the roads would be like. We don't have four-wheel drive in our van, but we do have BF Goodrich KO2 tyres, so providing we're sensible, I think we'll be absolutely fine. There was a message online that the mountain was really busy today and both car parks were full, so people actually were having to wait at the bus stops to get the shuttle bus up to the ski areas. The roads were a bit slippy between Glenmore and Aviemore. You can see this side of the carriageways and there really had much traffic on it, but with a bit of care they were perfectly doable and perfectly safe. So we headed home. Again, the weather was absolutely glorious all the way back. It was a lovely time in Glenmore, and I'll look forward to coming back. We do hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've got any questions, please add them in the comments and we'll be sure to respond to you. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate if you do that, and thank you for watching.